Good morning, virtual universe. Zach, aka Nefarious Stranger, aka VIP Area McNamaste, aka my newest one, Seance Ennui Americana Witch Jones, who was supposed to be performing tonight, but she got canceled on. This is my first blog spot, and I am here basically because I wanted to make a video record of queer liberation and revolution, both stories from the past and poems of the movement, but also what's going on right now. And 2 days ago my boyfriend broke up with me, and all of a sudden, as romantic as the revolution is, I thought maybe I would give you something a little bit more personal. The first poem that I want to open my show with comes from an epic collection of poems called Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions. This book was put out in 1977 by Larry Mitchell, and each passage is a perfect work of art in my humble opinion. One passage reads, "Romantic love, the last illusion, will keep us alive until the revolution arrives." And I'm feeling that today. The last illusion, all of the games that we get to play with ourselves around, are we good enough? Are we capable? Can we make it? Can we commit? Will they like me? The entire whole play around love and sex and emotion that is basically one giant distraction from the politics of the world, and a beautiful and wonderful distraction that hopefully someday we'll get to live in a world where it's kind of the only thing that we really do as hobbies, is fall in love and chase our potentials. So the second poem I want to read, I found when I walked in the front door here. I sat down at the studio and there was a single piece of paper with one of my favorite 1800s era poets on it, Edna St. Vincent Millay, who is better now as an adult than she was even when I was in high school, and I thought she was pretty awesome in high school. This is What My Lips Have Kissed. What my lips have kissed, and where and why, I've forgotten. And what arms have laid under my head till morning? But the rain is full of ghosts tonight, that tap and sigh upon the glass and listen for a reply. And I, in my heart, there stirs a quiet pain, for unremembered lads that not again will turn to me at midnight with a cry. Thus in winter stand the lonely tree, nor knows what birds have vanished one by one, yet knows its boughs more silent than before. I cannot say what love's come and gone. I only know that summer sang in me a little while, and that it in me sings no more. I love legends, and I love poetry, and I love the places where they meet, and I also am really disgusted at the state of the world, basically all the time, and have been since I was a little kid, and that we get to watch almost all of the most beautiful things, all of the things that inspire us to do poetry, all of the things that inspire us to be alive, be crushed out under concrete and hideousness and capitalism and starvation and genocides. And we've watched basically 5 continents be turned into just wastelands over the last 500 years as the 6th continent figured out how to take its resources and build beautiful temples for us to go as tourists to. And now here we are, and maybe it's the end of capitalism, and maybe it's the end of a culture of destruction, domination, and contempt. Maybe we are on the verge of a global revolution, and in that global revolution, there will have to both be mourning poems for all the things that we lost, all of the spells that are uncastable because the ingredients are gone, all of the animal species that no longer walk as our familiars. And there will also have to be the joie de vivre for us to keep going. We have to find a space for the beauty, and that is the poetry of the world. We have to find a space for flowers to bloom, not because they're flowers that were grown on a farm to be sold, but because they're just flowers and they just hang out as part of our life. They're just the backdrop of our existence. The romance is gone from our culture, and therefore we get to spend our whole time chasing love and chasing the inadequacies that are sold to us around love, that we are sort of driven insane by our own low self-esteem and desire to have other people validate us, and we're driven insane by the low self-esteem and the imperfections of those we love. We don't really know anything about what love would look like in a culture that wasn't based off domination of women and domination and subjugation of queers. We have no models for like an unmolested native psychology love. All of our models of love are based off the machine and its attempts to keep us together. It's based off the fidelity model and the nuclear family model, and there's whole rebellious schools of intellect, feminist studies type courses to unpack all this for us. And we can get some sort of gist, like that book Sex at Dawn, we can have some understanding of what our sex and love could be about. But on the day-to-day, what we live, we don't know our native psychology around love. We have no idea what our potential for love is. We have no idea, much as we have no idea about our potential for gratitude or our potential for generosity. Our potential to be loving and accepting and open is hindered and handicapped by all of the ways that we're abused culturally every day. Even our attention span makes it so that we're not fully able to commit a real emotion for longer than the spark of that emotion is available. When the mundane kicks into the love affair, that is when real communication and honesty is supposed to jump up and be your protective blanket. But if you don't know how to access those tools, if you don't know how to use those words, if you don't know how to find yourself, God knows I don't know how to do any of that. If you don't know how to get past your own abuse narratives and your own shame narratives to find like a place that can communicate like the hippie that you want to be, then you're just sort of shit out of. And it seems like everyone I know is a little bit shit out of. We're missing a capacity. I saw this really amazing sign that said, "Occupy your heart." And I really love Occupy Your Heart. I really love the idea that this next revolution will not be a political revolution. It will not be parties and congressional budgets and votes. It will be a moral and an emotional argument. And it will be a movement that takes place in our hearts. It's the paradigm shift that we've been waiting for. It's, what does my heart need in the world? My heart needs birds that are singing plentifully in a backyard, surrounded by all sorts of other animals and species coexisting. I need my food to feel like it wasn't grown by slaves. I want my clothes to feel like it was made out of the joy of looking good. We have a new culture to what we're going to birth. And I think the central ingredient to that is love. And I don't know how to do my part to increase the love. I only know my part in increasing the